and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
Well, I'm Puxatawny Phil, and here's Staten Island Chuck. I'm Mike, and this is Tom.
Yes. Happy Groundhog Day!
Now, those two jerks that I just mentioned, and I'm not talking about Mike and Tom. I'm talking about Phil and Chuck.
Right.
Saw their shadow. They...
What's up?
Sad,
What's up?
Sad listeners.
What's up?
There will be 6 more weeks of winter, according to Groundhog.
Yeah, and also according to our eyes, because if you look outside and you see the coldness and everything, it just looks like it's going to be a lot of winter ahead of us. But thank you, everybody, for joining us on AM Rockland's News. And I'm going to turn off the music now.
Turning off the music. Let me get more into the weather. Today, it actually gets above freezing. Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
But the lows are still in the low. Well, they're tweens. They're not even teens anymore. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit more snow. Wednesday, back up to 35. Again, tweens as the low. Thursday, the same. Friday, a little bit more snow. Saturday, frigid. 15 degrees is the high. Then 19 degrees is the high on Sunday. And we warm up to a whopping 24 degrees, people. Layers like ogres, onions, and parfaits, because everybody loves a parfait. Thank you, Shrek.
You broke a Tommy with that weather forecast, man. Now,
when you got Phil and Chuck doing the weather, is never a good thing.
Now, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, I should note that, we are not trained meteorologists. We picked that up off of Google News. We're assuming that Google News has the right weather forecast and everything. But, Mike, we actually have upgraded our game. We have a meteorologist on the Rockland's News team now.
We do?
That's right. Pat Pagano is going to give us a long-range weather forecast today. He sent it in yesterday, and this one is going to be in memory of our friend Mark Hannock, a meteorologist for WRCR Radio, who unfortunately passed away 2 weeks ago. He was a gentle soul and a good man, and he did a great job with WRCR Radio, with weather for many, many years, so it's in his memory. And we got so much more news to cover. I'll give you a few examples. Mike Lawler held a town hall meeting yesterday. It was totally calm. Totally calm.
Everybody was. We were doing the weather, and I wanted to talk about when they used you as a thermometer. How cold was the Hudson River with the Stony Point seals plunge?
Well, let me put it this way: there was shrinkage.
George Costanza would probably approve.
Yes, there was definitely shrinkage. It is cold in that water. And by the way, the Stony Point seals. We're going to have Kevin Nolan on in a few moments. And he's going to be talking about a few things that happened over the weekend. But yeah, in all seriousness, Stony Point seals, they do the polar plunge every single year for the last 27 years. That's amazing. And it's always to help local kids that are in need, medically fragile children that have a lot of medical expenses. And you can learn more about them at stonypointseals.com. But yeah, Mike, there was shrinkage. I have to tell you, like going into that water, it really is like, it feels like a billion spikes just going through your skin. It's like,
And okay, how many of you went out and did this crazy thing?
200 of us every year.
How many years in a row have you guys done this?
Oh, not in a row. Like last year I had COVID again.
Oh.
So I wasn't.
But the Stony Point Seals were there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How many years have the Stony Point Seals been doing?
27 years.
27 years of charity, folks.
Yeah.
And again, I like to promote community service and community activities.
Yeah.
Folks, this is just another way to give back.
Yeah.
One day of your life, you jump in the Hudson River when it's super freezing cold. You go out and you see, I think I heard that Amy Conklin Stam and
she was, yeah,
and Mike Lawler were serving drinks after that.
Exactly. So they were over at Fireside Restaurant. It was Saturday. No, I'm sorry. It was yesterday, January 31st. And the place was so packed that you couldn't even get in the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. And they do this every year. They do a kickoff, usually at Fireside, because Tom Javanez, he's legend over here. He actually fell off of a mountain once.
Which mountain?
Is it Anthony's Nose?
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
He fell off of Anthony's Nose, broke a few bones.
And his nose?
I don't know. I didn't ask him about that, but yeah. And then he kept climbing. Like when he got better, he climbed again for like years and years. I think recently he finally broke his streak. It was at least over 300 or 400 climbs after he broke bones and everything like that.
And
That's amazing. I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Was he also a SEAL? Did he also go to the
I'm
depths
sure
of the
at some point.
Hudson
It's
River?
like, let me tell you something. It is like a baptism when you go in. All right. And I'm not trying to, no, I'm not even trying to invoke.
Baptism by ice.
Yeah. I already did my Bible thumping in phase 1. Phase 2, you know where I come from. So I don't even need to go there. But yeah, it really, when you go in and you just feel like there's something, let me flip it back. All right. You know the band Tool?
Yes.
If you listen to their lyrics, they talk about like water being like a cleansing agent where you just like, and I get it. Like, I was in a hot tub time machine hanging out for a few, like maybe about 20 minutes with a few of my friends before Snowpocalypse, right?
All right. And what year did you go to?
The what?
You said it was a time machine.
It was the hot tub time machine.
But where did you go?
I went back to the 2000s, I would say, where
the aughts?
I hung out with friends and just had a good time and less worries. So there's something about water, in my opinion, that does that. And, and from there, I'm just thankful that there's water around too. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just wild, man. I mean, there's just so much going on. Like the political season is heating up. Mike, you had an interesting weekend too, I think.
I wouldn't call it interesting, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I feel are not good for the citizens of Rockland.
Yes, I'm told that citizens are getting higher energy bills these days.
Not just higher energy bills, they are actively getting ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, citizens, watch your bills with O&R. They charge you late fees if you have a negative balance.
Mm-hmm.
They throw termination letters at you when you have a negative balance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you call them up, and if you can get someone on the phone, they're not very nice.
Right.
If they answer any of your questions at all. And if they do, half the time they're lies.
I think, and I'm just taking a guess from, just saying like business processes, there's always a collection department. But I tend to notice, and it's a good thing if you have a negative balance, that means you don't owe any money.
That is correct. How can I be charged late fees and be threatened with terminations if you have a negative balance?
Right, exactly. So that tells me that there's a flaw in the system where, for instance, if billing is done, 30, 60, 90 days, and they have programs such as HEAP for people that are in need and so on. But this is different. That's not, you're paying your bills, you're doing your thing, and you actually had a negative balance on your O&R bill.
For 5 months.
And they kept on bothering you with it?
Yeah. And when I finally got them on the phone, I had to call through the Regulatory Commission because O&R made it so difficult to even get anyone on the phone
Mm-hmm.
that I had to go through other means.
Yeah.
Even then, the people on the other side of the phone, they couldn't do anything about it in the moment. Things have not been changed. They just were like, "Oh, we'll circle back on February 3rd."
Yep.
This was 3 weeks ago. So I don't understand why they can't go in, fix the stuff real time on the problems they make, and why are they making it the citizen's job? Because I am not the only one, listeners. I am not the only one, citizens. Lists of people that I reach out to on social media, that I have seen on social media post this without my prompting.
Mm-hmm.
We are all getting fed up with O&R and their rate hikes and their overcharging and their dishonesty,
Mm-hmm.
frankly.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it, folks, but I think we're going to start involving politicians in Rockland County because I don't understand how this company can be giving itself awards and getting awards when they are actively ripping off the citizens.
Yeah, it's not fair. And, we have, and at full disclosure, obviously those of you that know me, I'm a little bit, I try to build business and everything. It's self-preservation, but we sponsored Orange and Rockland's Pinnacle Award last year. All right. It was over at the Rockland Business Association. I don't regret it. And I'm, happy to participate in the process of everybody, including myself, patting each other on the back. Okay, let's call it for what it is, my networking friends. Okay, we're all patting each other on the back, and we're all doing the pay to play thing. I get it. I freaking get it. Okay, but there is a point where you look at the landscape statistically, and you say, all right, how many people are really, in uncomfortable circumstances? And then there's like this area that you navigate in order to make sure that the largest number of people are satisfied and prices are kept low economically, so that the average, to your point, Mike, citizen is able to live his life. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but apparently it can be sold for the highest bidder.
And you can charge whatever you want and say that the citizen is using whatever, because you can make up that number.
Yeah. So look, we're not damning anyone. We're not glorifying anyone. We're just
not individuals, not citizens.
And I
am damning a company that walks the line of the Antitrust Act, because it is indeed the only game in town by design, and therefore they can do whatever they want.
Well, that there is a component there that is, and how does that, I think that goes into when a utility gets defined by government, and this might be over my pay grade. I'm going to say that for the record there. But I think when a company becomes a certain size, I think that's where the government basically says, okay, you're a utility. All right.
Well,
in other words, everybody needs it. So, right. But the problem there is, how many utilities in the area do you have a choice?
None.
Perfect example is the cable companies.
You have a choice. You got two.
Right. Remember, I lived up in Highland Falls,
which you did not.
Only game in town was Spectrum.
Another place, because this is not just about the power company, the cable company.
Right.
Let's talk about how CSX runs its trains through Rockland County, causing track fires again and again and again. Doesn't pay Rockland County any money, doesn't support our fire departments who are cleaning up after their messes.
Right.
I know, I want to say it was 2 summers ago, there were over 10 track fires just in Havistraw alone, and another 6 or 7 up in Stony Point. And some of our volunteers were putting their lives in danger because big business can't clean up its mess.
Yeah, I remember. That was, I think Rockland News reported on that.
It's frustrating. It is frustrating, citizens. And Tommy, I am declaring that as a mission for our show, to get some answers from those big companies like Orange and Rockland.
And the way that we can do that, all right, and Mike is a big fan of getting the citizen that is listening to the show to contact the utility companies, our local elected officials, our representatives. And let's face it, that's what they're there for. They're supposed to be picking up the phone. They're supposed to be looking at the emails. They're supposed to be customer service, and we are the customer. So if you'd like to tell your story on the air, or if you'd like some advice on how to go about reaching out to various individuals, and we actually have a sheet for this.
If you want to do it anonymously,
exactly,
to give us more power, more ammunition to go to these companies.
And we always ask, and Mike, you and I agree on this, is to be, do it in a respectful manner, just ask the questions. And just by sheer number, and it could be peaceful. Remember, MLK, all right, it could be peaceful, but just by the sheer numbers alone, you can make change. So if you'd like to learn more, please go to rocklandnews.com/alert. And you can put your information in there. It's very anonymous. It's literally your first name and your zip code.
And even if you don't want to do that, you can put concerned citizen in your favorite number.
Write something thoughtful. Don't be a schlemiel. Don't put I can't believe they took our jobs. No, it's not going to work. Okay,
no,
I'm just
we
telling
need facts.
Yeah, we need facts. Exactly.
Like here's a math. How can someone get a termination letter if they have a negative balance?
Right.
That's a fact. That is math that does not add up.
So that is a big part of what we're doing. We also, Mike, we announced what our main focus is going to be for the year in terms of like the leading story. I say it's traffic.
I say it's whatever the voice of Rockland needs to speak.
Well, of course, but is it okay if I bring up traffic once in a while?
Of course, because traffic is very important to the citizens of Rockland. There are many of us who are either you are walkers because you want to park and walk, or you're not a car person. We know in Rockland County there's questionable things going on.
Very questionable.
With sidewalks versus not sidewalks. But if there is a sidewalk, such as the Four Corners in Nanuet, Mr. Pat Carroll, where are our safety rails? Where are the guardrails?
Come on, Pat Carroll. You know that we have been contacting you. You know that several other people said, hey, you should contact Rockland News to talk about this. And you're like, oh, I'm going to call. Come on, man. Don't be a poser. Don't be a poser. That's the way I look at it. So if you're going to say it's an election year, it's an election year. So if you want to get on the record and talk about your positions and everything, by the way, I do know how many bills that you did get passed.
How many?
I'm going to bring that up in a later show.
Statistics, Tommy. You said that there were numbers involved.
Well, let's go to Assemblyman Pat Carroll's page.
And folks, we are not picking on Pat Carroll for any other reason other than
he didn't get back to us.
We want safety in the Four Corners and Nanuet.
Exactly.
It is something that is important to Rockland County. It is something that is important to us because we believe our citizens should be safe. I don't walk there. Yeah. I'm not doing this because for my own personal. I'm doing this because I want my fellow citizens to be safe in the county that we live in.
Yeah. Well, if he did anything, it's not on his website. The last press release that he did is says Assemblyman Patrick Carroll criticizes congestion pricing plan now in effect. Before that, what?
Wasn't that like 3 years ago?
That's January 5th, 2025. Oh. I don't see anything past that. So
it was that. 2 years ago.
So, I mean, I guess, I'm just throwing this out there. Is he actually communicating with his constituents? Because I heard from several sources that he talks a great game, but how many actual bills got passed is a big question. So that doesn't speak to his stance. That speaks to his effectiveness. And I'm all about results, right?
Right. And the result we want to see immediate, and will get us off your social media butt.
Getting safety guardrails is not that big of a deal, man. It's not like you're building the new
we're not asking for a space shuttle.
It's literally like safety rails that the cops put out, and they do boop, there's one,
right.
Boop, there's another one, boop, there's another one.
And let me tell you, citizens, I have great admiration for the DOTs of Rockland County. Their snow removal, I still see things being moved. So folks, let us know if you have any other issues, such as the safety rails. Even if you want to add your name into the hat of, put my name as a citizen of whatever town you're in, whatever village you're in, and I would like to support Mike and Tom to justify and champion traffic safety in Rockland County.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's going to be the main focus of the year. And one of the reasons also has to do with what's happening at the Four Corners, which is the town of Clarkstown just recently got about $1.8 million to be able to fix up the streets and also do a federally authorized traffic safety study. That's one component. Another component, you and I went to visit Milla Millions and Manny, who talk regularly about what many, many people are seeming to neglect, is that you should kind of drive safe on the roads, guys. You just should, because you could actually hurt other people, such as kids that are on sidewalks and stuff. People need to be safe. And that is a big part. And Milla, kids in the hall.
No, kids in U-Hauls.
Kids in U-Hauls. Kids in U-Hauls. I mean, it's just absurd. And they post humorous videos about that. So that's two.
Where are they posting those videos?
Huh?
Where can you see?
Oh, you can go to Milla Millions Instagram page, which is pretty funny.
And Milla is with one L or two L's?
2 L's. Milla.
Milla Millions?
Yep.
Plural?
Milla Millions.
Well,
no, it's just Milla Millions. You just go to Instagram. No, Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
You go to Instagram. Jeez, I thought I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here being fast. I'm wearing one of their T-shirts right now. Their brand is called New York is a Nationality.
Yeah.
And you can find them at the Palisades Center Mall.
And you can go to their website, which is newyorkisanationality.com. And we're going to have them on the show. We have some podcasting that's coming up. We have our first guest coming into the room right now. We have Kevin Nolan. And I'm going to keep it separate here because there's going to be something that might be discussed that's a tad bit controversial. We're going to see where the conversation goes. Nothing over the top, everybody. Get your bunny slippers and your warm kitty. It's all good. But we're going to talk about some things that might just spark I can't believe they said that. Don't even worry about that. But on the flip side, Kevin's going to also talk about a charitable event that is happening this weekend that you can participate in, and you can help local kids get treated for their medical conditions. All right. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest. All right. I should play the music for this guy because that's how awesome I think he is.
Play him some music then.
All right.
We need to sing something.
All right. So we're going to bring Kevin into the room. Hey, Kevin, how's it going, man?
What's up, Tom Osa?
All right. Just chilling. We're here with Mike Kluger as my co-host. And you know me, so you don't have to. So Kevin Nolan from Prestige. I think you're on the road right now, right?
Yes, technically I am on the road right now.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you calling in because we had some things that happened over the weekend. I was thinking that we could talk about, there's some legislation that's running through Rockland County right now. I don't know if you saw the airwaves about that.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
Can you hear us?
All right, I got you.
Yeah. So, what did you think about that legislation that's going through Rockland County legislatures right now?
Yeah, I wasn't shocked. I think it's more of a political stunt than anything of real meaning. Just the way it was brought up by, somebody running for higher office.
Yeah. And for those of you that are looking to tune into this, basically, Rockland County legislator Beth Davidson, over the last week or so, introduced something into a future agenda to discuss and perhaps codify into law how much that local lawmakers, people of law enforcement, how much they can participate in operations regarding ICE, the Immigration Customs and Enforcement Agency, how much they can participate. So, Kevin, it seems like, the election season is coming up, all right? And it seems like the elected officials are getting more and more active and talking and maybe creating some sort of an uproar. Are you noticing that as well?
I mean, you got to drum up drama, that's how everybody pays attention to you. I just don't. I mean, first of all, they pretty much copy and pasted Westchester's law, so it's not like they worked, extremely hard on this, resolution or whatever they're trying to jam it through the legislature. I'd be shocked to see it go through. Rockland County is not that kind of county. We moved here, because we didn't want to deal with the chaos that goes on in these cities and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's fodder, Yeah, I know you had Rand on the other day, and he, calling ICE the Gestapo and everything. It's like, come on.
Yeah. It seems like, Mm-hmm.
I often equate it to, what would you do if, I'm up here at Stony Point and I saw them pull somebody over on the side of the road and I got out in front of their car and started blowing whistles at them. Like, what's going to happen to me,
Right, exactly. Are you going to be able to do anything about the situation? Yes, you can protest, but, the whole thing is protest peacefully. If look, let me put it this way. If I'm in the wild frickin' West, okay, and I got Gene Hackman standing in front of me with two freaking pistolas, I'm probably going to back down. That's just the way it is,
Well, and here's the other thing. What can we do? Rockland County is a special place. And one of the things I see about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the police forces, the sheriffs, the state troopers, are homegrown Rockland County people, right? So if you feel like something is not being done in justice, whether it's an ICE agent or a pullover in front of your house, call your local PD. Because guess what? Local PD has jurisdiction. Local PD can come down, and if the person if it's ICE, is trying to detain, should actually be there, your local PD should step in. The sheriff's department should step in. The state troopers should step in.
Right.
So, and we have robust police forces in the 5 towns. Some of the villages have their own.
Right.
So my feeling is, unless you are doing your organized protest on the 4 corners without safety rails, if you see something in the moment, please call your local PDs.
Yeah. And for those of you that want to learn more about the issue, and we're going to talk about it for a little bit more and then get into some fun stuff, because there's a weekend that's coming up that I think you all should participate in. But you could go to rocklandsnews.com. We wrote up an article about this on Friday, and I should note, and this is, fair to, I hope, both sides, is we basically, got opinions from both different elected officials' points of view. So, in the middle, there's some sort of a mid-ground that hopefully the people can agree on. A lot of people said that the copy and paste, as Kevin mentioned, was a little bit lazy. That's not enacting a law, because maybe that law from Westchester doesn't work for this area. Kevin, you mentioned, all right, about that it's just not that type of area for that. It's something that essentially, it works for when it's squeezed in, but we're not that squeezed in as much.
But the question should be raised, what is Rockland to do about it? What are our citizens supposed to do? Like I'm offering, please call your local PD, say exactly what's going on. If you see something, say something, like my old friend Bill Murphy used to say over at RCC. Yeah. I don't want to take the stick and poke it in the mud and make this more drama. Right. Kevin
it's not
said,
supposed to, yeah.
What,
it's supposed
what
to be the
can
opposite.
we do? It is not, the issue of ICE is a heated one. It is a wedge one. We are not here to politicize that. We're here to tell you citizens what you can do locally to help you and your fellow citizens. Tell other people, don't get out of your car because you're putting yourself at risk. Call our serve and protect police force, because they actually care about you, because they're from here.
Right.
I also think we have to understand that, this law that they're trying to push through, where it says county employees, okay, which includes the sheriff's department and corrections and stuff like that, cannot cooperate with ICE in the absence of a judicial warrant, which means if they are either arrested or detained or jailed, all right, and if there's not a judicial warrant, even if there's an ICE detainer on them, okay, so if there's an ICE detainer, they cannot cooperate with ICE. They cannot alert them. They cannot say, hey, we have this guy, why don't you come get him? Now, when there's an ICE detainer on you and ICE picks you up, they put you in front of an immigration judge. It's not going to just ship you back to your country. You go in front of an immigration judge, all right? Now, to ask for a judicial warrant on everybody that's on an ICE detainer, nobody would ever be detained by ICE. It'd be virtually impossible to detain anybody requiring a judicial warrant. And they don't explain that.
I think what is, put on the national media cycle is the worst of the worst that happens. Now, we can all agree mistakes happen, and sometimes they're intentional mistakes. Right. But at the same time, what percentage, if it's 0.0001, maybe that's something that's going to statistically just be there no matter what system is there. Or is it many percent, 10% or 5%? I'd like to see what number of detainees are treated correctly, according to procedure, versus the bad apple thing, whatever it is. If something happens that's bad apple, it's
but who's reporting that?
What?
Who's reporting that?
Well, the problem is that nobody, because as Kevin said,
or it won't be reported honestly.
Sensationalism is the thing that sells. And that's the thing that sucks about this, is it's the sensationalistic side that always gets put out there, well, let's the Oscars yesterday.
Let's go focus back on Rockland, because this is a Rockland
show.
Now, our chief executive officer is Ed Day.
Right.
former NYPD cop.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and he's a cop. He's a former
he
cop.
understands serve and protect. He understands how to keep the people safe. So if you really have this kind of issue in Rockland, the person you should be reaching out to is the person who knows best.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm going to keep encouraging the citizens to reach out to the county, to their local police departments, to the sheriff's department. And if you're concerned about ICE agents here, let your local law enforcement know, because that's their job, is to enforce the law, all of the laws.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, so your thoughts on the approach? Obviously there's a lot that's going to be played out. Do you think that the Westchester bill is really going to make it through Rockland County legislation?
I mean, obviously, the Democrats brought it up, and they do have the legislature. Could they jam it through if they wanted to? Yes, they could.
All right.
Sorry about that. They could jam it through, but I can't see them voting unanimously on this and pushing it through. I just don't see it happening. I know Ed's got veto power, but I believe that can be overridden.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, I think it's going to go nowhere. But like I said, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
So citizens, as Kevin just mentioned, Ed has veto power. Ed Day has veto power. So if you have concerns before that happens, start messaging Ed Day and tell him of your concerns.
Well, message his office. Like, he's not up like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I mean,
if
you have direct access to Ed, then do it. If not, please.
I think at this point you'd be better off. I think at this point you'd be better off reaching out to your county legislature, because they ultimately have to vote. I spoke to mine over the weekend. He seemed, he definitely was not on board with it, which is a good thing. I respect him for that. I asked him personally. I know Ed has already said he would absolutely veto it if it came to his desk. But the best thing anybody could do really is contact their legislature, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to be voting on it. If you don't know who it is, they do have a website, the Rockland County legislator website, because a lot of people, believe it or not, have no clue who the county legislator is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're concerned about it, take it up with them.
Indeed. Yeah. And not for nothing. I mean, quite frankly, I think there's still going to be a lot to play out. For instance, at 11 a.m. today, there's going to be a further discussion about it. I got a message from Laura in Calcaterra, who is part of the Rockland County legislature. So we'll be posting this shortly. It's actually an image. I don't know why they didn't send us a PDF or just writing it, but regardless, Laura, we do appreciate that you send that to us. Very appreciated. Because it's keeping the public informed. Kevin, before we let you go, we got some action going on this Super Bowl Sunday coming up on this Sunday. What's going on?
We do. We have our annual plunge that we do every year to raise money for children that are in need with some help for medical bills and their illnesses and stuff like that. I believe, I want to say it's our 32nd annual plunge. I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I think I actually have the T-shirt right here.
Yeah.
We sell shirts. But
raised like tens of thousands of dollars, but through your efforts, and you and Matt Sloboda, and I know Matt from high school over at North Rockland. So you guys,
we do.
Go ahead.
We do as much as we can throughout the year to try to raise as much money as we can, and then when it's all over, we give it all away.
Yes. And the Stony Point Seals, for those of you that are looking to learn about them, stonypointseals.com. You can get involved. You can actually jump in the water this coming Sunday. It's about 200 people just jump into the Hudson River. There's food. It's just a great atmosphere. Sometimes thousands of people are there, and it's in Stony Point, New York. Kevin, when was your first plunge? I know you've done this quite a number of times.
When I really started getting involved, probably about 6-7 years ago, I want to say. And it's cold. Don't let anybody fool you. When you go in that water, it is a shocker. But and contrary to popular belief, you do not have to go in the water if you want to attend the plunge.
Right?
You could stay, you could hang out, you watch. There's a big crowd. There's music. We do raffles. We sell T-shirts. We got hamburgers and hot dogs and coffee and chili. So it's a nice family event. and it's for a great cause, and hopefully everybody shows up. It's supposed to be a little chilly, so dress warm.
This is true. Mike just did the weather forecast for this week.
It's kind of like
yeah.
the hippy dippy weather, man.
Yeah.
With your hippy dippy weather.
So
man.
right now,
Well, I mean, today feels like spring out.
19
I think.
degrees it's looking like right now on Sunday.
It's balmy.
So dress warm. We have heating tents there. If you get cold, you can go in the tent. You can warm up, but dress accordingly because it does get a little chilly sometimes. But it's a great event.
Yeah, and sure, I've done a few of them. Like the key is to dress warm when you get there, but dress in layers so that if you're going in, when the time comes that you got to get down to your swimsuit or whatever, you basically, you got like about 5-10 minutes to cool down the body temperature. And then they do the march. I love it when you got the bagpipers and like the marching band. It feels very official.
It is. It's nice. And my daughter is actually going to be singing the national anthem there this year. So
it's cool.
That should be nice.
We got to get that on.
It's a good time.
Yeah, we're going to have to get that on video. Like when everybody's up on the stage, she does the national anthem. We'll get that on video somehow.
Sounds good. She does it right before they jump in.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So it should be a good time. It's a lot of fun. You've been involved for a number of years, so you know the deal.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin Nolan from Prestige Plumbing and Heating, thank you for being on AM Rockland's News this morning, and safe travels, brother. I'll see you this weekend.
Thanks, my man. Have fun. Take care.
Stay warm.
All right, so that was Kevin Nolan from Prestige Plumbing and Heating of Rockland. You actually check out him on Facebook and all the Googles. I mean, like if you look at just like Yelp is like the toughest place to get quality reviews. And as I'm looking at the Yelp thing right there, he's got really good quality reviews. Plus, he's got the Facebook page and every other thing. So he's very appreciative that he's here. He does a lot of charitable work. And he's also just effing funny as hell. So you got to know this guy. He's great. So we're going to be back in a few moments with our next guest. We're going to have our meteorologist, Pat Pagano, showing up. So stick around for AM Rockland News. We'll be back in a moment. And let's talk about our sponsors for a few.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Mike.
Yabu Fence.
Yabu! Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, Kobe Sushi, Susan Bova, Coldwell Banker Realty, Laura Molino Muller, Howard Hanna Rand Realty, Whole Shot Bagels. Yeah. 99 Signs, Mike.
FC Perfection, Auto Body and Repair in Congress.
Clean Space Maintenance Management Company.
Rockland Music Fest.
And the New York Boulders baseball team. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with some more. Thanks for joining us today.
Keep the rockin' Rockland.